What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Senator of Chaos and Controversy, and man, got me looking like a priest with this white shirt, looking like a white collar with my "See No Evil, Speak No Evil, Hear No Evil" shirt on. But anyway, this past week I was getting back into the groove of watching a lot of content coming from one of the most uh, people who I respect as a content creator or influencer here on YouTube, and that's Ricky Manor. And lately, he's been on fire. He's been putting things on the table that needed to be put on the table to be discussed. I follow him because he brings a certain balance to the issues that we know is apparent within our society, which is problematic, which is troubling. And one of the things that he pointed out that I agree with is that it's cool when we talk about it, it's understandable when we address it, but that's all we do. The buck stops there. There's no action taken, there's no solutions being brought up, and it's just criticism after criticism after criticism after judgment after judgment after judgment, but there's nothing put into motion. Now, I was watching a video earlier um, called The Bullpen, and it was a story that covered two individuals, young individuals. One that went down a destructive path where he knew he was doing wrong. He decided to entertain a particular lifestyle, and he had a friend who he disengaged himself with because he didn't want to draw him in to his bullshit. Okay. Needless to say, the outcome was inevitable. He ended up getting arrested. He was sentenced to 15 years, while the other one, was doing good. Had a ride and a scholarship to a private school, and from there to college. Now, this boy ended up doing something, creating a organization, I believe, that focused and studied on his friend, and the situations that put him where it landed him to where he was at the time. And the project did so well that he was able to get his friend out of jail and have him go to college. The judge that sentenced him was the same judge that he advocated for to, overlook his sentence and get him to get released. And long story short, basically, it's one of those things where there was no judgment on the friend's part, even though he was, doing right and his friend was doing wrong. But he didn't look at his friend as, oh, you just a throwaway. You can't be saved. Oh, I'm gonna just use your past again. And here's the thing: he didn't use his friend's past against him. He used his friend's past to put it on the table and dissect the dynamics of the situation that landed his friend in the predicament that he found himself in. Yes, all due to the decisions that he made, but it was broken down and analyzed to where it was like, okay, we see where the problem lies. We see the contributing factors. How do we come up with a solution? And they did. Now the dude, he runs his own company from the ground up. That's the name of his company, and it's a photography company that he runs. I believe they're still in college. They were on the Ellen DeGeneres show, from what I've seen in the clips and stuff. And I'm saying those are the examples that are needed, that we have to have, instead of tearing each other down and having that crab in the barrel mentality. And that's the thing that I noticed was the message that Ricky Manor was putting out there. Yes, is constructive criticism needed in order to bring attention and give that tough love? Absolutely. I mean, how can you correct what's wrong if you don't address it? On the flip side of the coin, you have the example of a Brandon Tatum. And I use him because he's the best go-to reference that I could use to make this point. This individual uses destructive criticism to tear down, highlight, and paint only a negative picture of the black community and the black community alone. No one else, just the black community. Doesn't give any solutions. And the irony about it is, he talks about how when he grew up, his lifestyle wasn't on the up and up either. He was doing bad, doing things he shouldn't have, and then he decided, okay, I'm going to law enforcement. But he's one of them individuals that give all the credit to white people and hold white people up on a pedestal. Now, I'm not making a judgment, but it's one of those typical movie storylines, like The Blind Side, where there's always a white savior to the black community, and it's always that narrative that's being pushed that the influence of white people, as opposed to the negative influence, is what brings a lot of black people out of the predicaments that they are in. And there's validation to that, I will say, and some examples are those that are, how should I say, highlighted. There are white people that do take the time out to take troubled teens out of a messed up situation and show them a different path. There are also black people who take troubled teens out of a messed up situation and show them a different path. But it's always that one side gets credited and the other one goes unacknowledged. Should I sit there and waste time placing the blame as to why that is? But the point that I'm getting at is, when it comes to those like Brandon Tatum, if there was a solution behind the criticism and you did it because you were compassionate about a community that you wanted to succeed and not continue to fail, then the buck wouldn't just stop with the "see, I told you," because that's how he comes off with the "see, I told you." How am I wrong? Where am I wrong? Where is the lie? And I say, yeah, there's validation in your talking points, but when you only target certain demographics just to justify your talking points, but you intentionally ignore other demographics within this country where there are people who don't fit into your narrative of the negative criticism, you intentionally disregard them to paint a blanket picture. Whereas on the other hand, when it comes to Ricky Manor, he doesn't do that. Oh yeah, he'll get in your ass. He'll tell you where black folks are fucking up. But he doesn't stop there. He'll also talk about uplifting black people. He often talks about his contribution to the black community. He has reached out to me in my time where I was stressing the fuck out, where I was trying to figure out what the fuck am I going to do in this situation. At the time was fighting for my son, going to court, fighting his mom who was deciding that, running the streets and getting fucked up, being an addict was more important than being a responsible parent. Whereas I'm trying to struggle to make ends meet, finding my own place. I was fucking staying with my friend because I was homeless until I could get a place of my own. I was going through a hard time. And I just pretty much needed someone to really talk to digest and vent to. Ricky was there. Ricky didn't sit there and bash me. He didn't tell me. No, he understood the situation because he himself was in a similar situation when he was younger, raising his kids. And as a single father trying to figure it out, I was stressing. I wasn't going to lie because it was something new to me. Before I had my other baby mothers, they were there. This one wasn't. So there's credit to be given where credit is due. Um, do I always agree with Ricky Mayer? No. Do I always like jump on the bandwagon to say, hey, I'm gonna support the echo chamber? There's certain things I challenge him on. There's certain things I don't agree with. There's things that he doesn't agree with me on. But we have a level of understanding. And I said this before. His criticism comes from a place of, I give a damn. Versus Brandon Tatum's destructive criticism comes from, I don't give a fuck. See, look at the black community. Look at the black community. Not look at these individuals within the black community and how they're problematic and what can we do to change this? How can we go from being divided back to being united? No. Ricky had pointed out that the rhetoric that he entertains is dangerous because the crowd that he panders to has now got this generalized perception of that must be all black people. Because it came from Brandon Tatum, it must be true. He's a mouthpiece for white supremacy. He wanted the good ones. So all those negative talking points that they got scripted and written down, he's like, give me that shit. Yep. Oh, you forgot to add this, and you forgot to add that. I got you. On the B. Tatum's report, this nigga this nigga that, this nigga this. All these black people, black people are so stupid. And it's praise the white man. Praise the white man. The white man can do no wrong. And then, yes, there are jokes that reference him to Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks, but where's the lie? Ricky Manor, I know, has caught him flack because he got the rebel flag. But you know, as they say, never judge a book by its cover. If you can see past the fucking background and close your eyes and actually listen to this man, he balances the scales. And he doesn't just criticize those within the black community. He gets on the white people's ass as well, especially when he's talking in regards to the political arena. That isn't so much my area of expertise. I don't care to entertain political parties. That's not me. I think it's a fucking joke. It seems like these groups, like these teams that people are so religiously into following. You gotta be Republican. You gotta be Democrat. You gotta be a conservative. You gotta be whatever. Oh, I gotta vote for this team, or I gotta vote for that team, or I gotta, I mean, to each his own. To each his own. Whatever makes your life function, that's cool. Whatever gives you a sense of purpose, that's cool. Whatever defines your existence, that's cool. I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm just saying, for me, it's not a necessity. It doesn't define my existence and why I live. My kids do. They give me a sense of purpose, especially my son. Um, and I know it's crazy because of that fact. Like with certain people over on TikTok, when it came to their attention that, oh, you follow Ricky Manor? Yes, I follow Ricky Manor. Oh, and I'm one of them people that I don't, how should I say, go with what's popular. I'm pretty much one that goes against the grain, so to speak. I'm not about favoritism. It's not like, oh well, if you follow this person, then I can't rock with you. Then don't rock with me. Then I'm not here for your approval. If I follow you, there's a reason why I may follow you. You might have what do you call it? Rational thinking, or rational thought, or things that you present actually make sense, and it has a great amount or a great deal of credibility to what you're saying, to where, yes, I'm drawn to the topic of discussion. Yes, you caught my attention. Now I'm attentively listening. And another thing that I would say that I gotta point out, when Ricky tells you something, especially when it comes to when he brings up the other individual, Brandon Tatum, the dude, if you look at Ricky's content, and it never fails, Ricky's content will come out first. And then maybe a day or a week later, you'll see Brandon Tatum's in the same talking points. And just recently, when Ricky Manor was talking about, yeah, when I went to church, so and so and so and so, and they're the ones who taught me, in the choir, whatever, whatever. And those people were. I kid you not. There was a video recently where Brandon Tatum brought up the same talking point. Oh, those people in the choir in the churches. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that got a little. I said, oh my God. I said, this got to be the third example. The third example. And is it by coincidence? So, low key, those major content creators do acknowledge us other content creators that ain't so much up there, which is cool. Cause like for me personally, this for me is basically therapy. I get to get things that I got on my mind off my chest. And hey, if those decide that they want to interact with me, fine. If those want to have a healthy discussion, whether they agree or disagree with me, I'm all for it. I'm not too much that are keen on disrespect, because there's one individual that is constantly trolling my account, and he knows who I'm talking about, Mr. L.A. Thorne. And I've recently come to acquire this knowledge that he used to follow Ricky Manor too. And that dude, he got some issues. Just by the banter that we have going back and forth and some of the rhetoric that he likes to throw out there, I know he does it to try to trigger people, because he's one of them people that pretty much is understood by how Ricky Manor broke it down. Hurt people hurt people. So he figured, hey, somewhere along the timeline of him coming into existence, being exposed to those within the black community, he must have got rejected. Hey, who at some point in their life haven't been rejected? I pointed out me being biracial, half black, half white. I didn't get so much rejection from the black community, but I've had some of those encounters where I wasn't black enough. I was a little too educated. I spoke properly. I didn't talk with that ghetto-ness. I wasn't ghetto enough, whatever that meant. And for those who don't know, oh yeah, I got the nigga this and nigga that, and why are you here? You don't belong in this area. I mean, from both sides, yeah. But then when people took the time out instead of jumping the gun and judging me and not giving me a chance, yeah, I was able to sit with them motherfuckers that had them little rebel license plate, them Confederate license plate tags on their cars and stuff. I was able to talk with them. I was able to sit down with certain gang members and stuff like that. And hey, why you into this? What sense does this make? You know, those are just two quick examples that I could throw out there. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about pretty much today, is talk about constructive criticism versus destructive criticism and knowing the difference between the two. Because with constructive criticism, it's you criticizing with the intent to bring awareness, have those acknowledge the wrongdoing, and correct it or come up with a solution. Versus destructive criticism, you're just doing it just to bash people, just to bash people. You don't have no solution. You don't have nothing put on the table that's tangible for them to say, hey, is there opportunities where I can get out of this life and better myself? Besides being a talking point to pander to a particular demographic of people. Where is the lie? Anyway, until next time, until next video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think, if you do independently think. But yeah, peace.